Welcome to the Contexts of Occupation module. My name is Lennon Graho, and I will be your online instructor for this part of the course. Throughout the module, I would like you to pause and take time to jot down important notes, make critical reflections, and analyze the different basic concepts that we will be covering regarding contexts of occupation. Should you have any questions, please feel free to reach me via email at lgraho, that's lgrajo @slu.edu. For the first part of this module, I will introduce the concept of context. Let's begin. At the end of this module, you should be able to first, define contexts and environments. Discuss some of the different perspectives about contexts. Relate the importance of contexts in the occupational behavior of humans. And enumerate the different interrelated contexts that affect performance of occupations. Let us discuss the concept of context. I want you to look at this picture. What do you see? It is a picture of a window that is swept from the outside. What do you think is happening here? Yes, it seems like it's raining. What do you like to do when it's rainy and gloomy outside? I, for one, like to read a good book while drinking good coffee. Or sometimes I like listening to good rock music when it's raining outside. This is just an example of how context can be understood. The second edition of the Occupational Therapy Practice Framework defines contexts and environments as a variety of interrelated conditions within and surrounding the person that influence performance of various occupations. There are various perspectives in literature that provides us an idea on how we can understand and analyze context. Some common examples include a medical or health perspective, an ecological or social perspective, and perspectives from the disciplines of occupational science and occupational therapy. Now let us take a look at the medical and health perspectives in understanding context. This illustration is from the International Classification of Functioning, Disability, and Health by the World Health Organization. This picture shows us how the presence or absence of a health condition, whether a disorder, illness, or disease, can affect a person from a body, activity, and participation points of view. Let's give an example. Say a 6-year-old boy with cerebral palsy. From a body perspective, this boy may have spasticity of both lower extremities. This, in turn, from an activity perspective, makes it difficult for him to maintain his balance, coordination, and walk without the need for assistive devices during certain play activities. From a participation perspective, do you think this boy will be able to optimally engage in sports activities with his peers? Various contextual factors may affect his level of engagement and participation. Some environmental factors include: does the physical environment support safe play, for example, of a ball game? Some personal factors also include: are his friends and peers supportive and encouraging so that he would try his best to succeed in this activity? Looking at an ecological perspective, Urie Bronfenbrenner, the proponent of the theory of the ecology of human development, describes how the human behavior changes and evolves based on different adaptive and/or maladaptive interaction between the person and his or her environment. The continuously emerging field of occupational science brings also a different and unique perspective to understanding context. The environment provides various interrelated contexts that influence why, when, where, and how people engage in occupations. These contexts and the environment provide a certain amount of challenge to the person. Literature tells us that when the challenge is at the just right level, time seems to pass by and it gives us a sense and state of flow. The engagement in occupation also has various meaning to the person, and this in turn affects his satisfaction with life. Lastly, in the field of occupational therapy, various theoretical and conceptual framework that guide the practice of the profession emphasize the role of the environment and how this can be used to engage the person in meaningful activities and occupation. This in turn affects the state of his health and well-being. Some common examples of these theories include the ecology of human performance, the model of human occupation, the theory of occupational adaptation, and the PEO, or Person, Environment, and Occupation Model. The occupational therapy practice framework lists various interrelated contexts that affect the way we perform and engage in occupations. We will discuss these in the succeeding modules. These contexts include cultural, physical, social, personal, temporal, and virtual contexts. Now let us review. Name some perspectives used in understanding the concept of context. I'll give you a clue. We discussed 4. We have the medical perspective, the social or ecological perspective, perspectives from occupational science, and the occupational therapy perspective. That is correct. Next, give the 6 interrelated contexts identified by the OTPF, or the Occupational Therapy Practice Framework, that affect performance of occupation. We have physical, temporal, social, cultural, personal, and the virtual context. Good job! You're ready to move to the next module.